Hi, I'm Titus from Last Week in Entertainment, and I'm doing a game review for you. And today I will be reviewing Dragon Age Origins. Where to start? The choices are available to you in this game. Right from the start, you have two sexes, which they don't really have a difference, but when you choose the races is how people will treat you. You can choose human, elf, or dwarf. It's a basic RPG in that way. And yes, it will be a sea of British accents, but that's what makes it so good. It's because it may be a basic choice right there, but those choices give you such a different gameplay experience. And what else? Oh yes. And within that, there's, well, dwarves can't be mages. So for human, you can be rogue, a magi, which is only available for mages, and a warrior, basic, again. Then you can choose your background for elves, city elf, or Dalish, which is basically a wood elf. And humans is a noble or a magi. So basically just noble if you want to choose anything but mage. And there's also elf mages. But that's mages just from magi. The dwarves can either be dwarf commoner or dwarf noble. And they all have a different storyline to begin with. They'll take about 45 minutes to an hour to play through, depending on what you do. But then you'll get to the main part where you go to Osgiliath, and that's where the main story gets set into play. I'm not going to ruin anything, but let's just say that now by the end you're wanted and you have to raise an army against the Darkspawn, which are like orcs or chaos. And yeah, and the good points are our combat is really easy. And I'm talking from the 360 perspective, but I also have played the PC version and PS3. There's no difference between PS3 and Xbox 360. But you can actually micromanage your battles. You can choose exactly who your team is going to attack instead of just chaos. It's not just pure action, it's actually more planning and more to do with it. And that's one bad thing about the system, is that it's lacking strategy. And the blood, very strange if you ask me. Somehow if you get into close combat, blood spurts all over you and all of that. And now to talk about your party. You can have a party of up to 4 people. When you first begin, after the origin story, your party will consist of a old Templar, so warrior, a rogue, and a heavy warrior, and whatever class you chose to be. But then you can go and get, later on you get a mage, And within the second city, you can only enter the city once. You have to go to the pub to get the Liliana, a rogue. She's very helpful. It's infinitely easier to get the next person, who's a very strong warrior, who's a Kunari. But no, he's not. Yeah, he's a Kunari. But you have to go to the Reverend Mother, and it's so much easier to have Liliana to go and get this other warrior who is Sten. And within Ostogath, you can go and help out the Kennel Master by getting a flower for him. You get a dog, which is a very helpful partner to have. So in total, I would say it is a great game, ranking 8 out of 10. And next review will be Midnight Club Los Angeles. Look forward to it. This has been Titus Mountain from Last Week in Entertainment.